still summer. It's still bloody summer as far as I'm concerned. It's been really hot and sweltery here in the UK. Maybe not today actually. It's a little bit more overcast-y, a little bit cooler, but it's still really warm. As far as I'm concerned, it's still summer, and I believe we should be living in the moment and not living for the next day, the next season. So I'm here to tell you to carry on wearing your summer fragrances, because it won't be too long before you'll be feeling the need for things that are heavier, stronger and more autumnal, shall we say. So I've brought a selection of summer fragrances that I absolutely love. I've probably talked about all of them before, but here they are. I hope you enjoy. So let's start off with the first one. I clicked my fingers there for some reason. The first one I have, it's not available at the moment on Teone's website. I don't know if it will be again. Teone does often take things off, put things back on. So hopefully this review is useful at some point, if not right now. And this is Lemon Blossom. I really, really love this sunshiny, summery, natural perfume. I've written the notes down because I did my homework. Notes are vanilla, ylang, ylang. I wrote ylang, but it's ylang, ylang. Orange blossom, white ginger lily, jasmine, tiara, amaryllis. Amaryllis is a similar wood to sandalwood. And then there is sandalwood and there's amber and cedar. Now, I get a slightly green element from the fragrance when I first spray it, which sort of, I don't see any green notes listed, although I don't know what white ginger lily looks like. If it smells like other lilies, that could be where the green note comes from that I get. Now, I've had this on my hand for 5 or 10 minutes now. Sprayed it on my wrist whilst I was writing down the notes. It's not quite so green now. So the vibe that I get from it is being completely at one with nature, being in amongst lemon and orange trees, exotic flowers everywhere, with humid grass, like warm, humid grass, sort of lifting its scent up at the same time. There's something very humid about the fragrance, something very warm, even though it's kind of fresh because it's sort of lemony. It's quite an intense fragrance, even though it's got a lot of more volatile, fresh notes. It's quite intense and it's perfectly summery, but it's very humid summery. Now the next one I have here, a lot of these fragrances have very similar notes, but they all come off quite differently. And this one is Frangipan from Chantical. They're a French makeup and beauty brand. Beautiful bottle there. This was one of my first forays into niche perfumery back when I first started getting into perfume. I had a decan of Frangipan and absolutely loved it. And then I went and bought a bottle, but I bought a vintage bottle, and it turned out I preferred the current, which is this one, the current formulation. Even though the vintage was gorgeous and probably a lot of people would prefer the vintage, for me, I actually find the current formulation is much easier to love. It's a bit lighter and less heavy on the ambery side from memory, but we're going back a long time now. So Frangipan from Chantical has notes of water hyacinth, violet leaf, orange, frangipani, ylang ylang, incense, jasmine, vanilla, musk and amber. I have it on this wrist here. And this is worlds away from Lemon Blossom in that this is very, very smooth. So there's a rawness about Lemon Blossom. There's a rawness about Teone's fragrances in general. She doesn't use fillers and smoothers and all the synthetics that help a fragrance to be really, really smooth. So there's always a rawness with Teone's work, although not always actually. I wore Embers yesterday and that was so smooth. It was amazing. Got a compliment as well. But we're not talking about Embers. So Frangipan, so much smoother, lighter. I don't necessarily understand what water hyacinth smells like. I don't really find the violet leaf either, but I do get nuances of different flowers, different colours even. And I have written here that it's smooth, sensual and pretty, and it reminds me of a high-end beach resort and white linen. So if you imagine you're wearing a really expensive white linen suit at a high-end resort where the sand is white and the sea is turquoise and everything is pristine, and this would be the fragrance that you're wearing. And it is really beautiful, very, very appealing scent. So that is Frangipan. And the next one is this one. And this is Xerjoff's Renaissance 1861. This one is so fresh. This is really the only properly full-on citrusy offering in this list. We've got notes of lemon, tangerine, bergamot, petitgrain, mint, lily of the valley, rose, musk, cedar, amber and patchouli. Now honestly, it's all top notes, and I think the base notes I think they must work magically to cling the scent onto your skin and make it last without really coming forward and making themselves known. So I would never have said that I really get amber or patchouli from this fragrance, maybe a hint of woods from the cedar. And I don't really find the florals particularly noticeable either. I really get those citruses and that mint together. And it is like the most upper class, classy cologne type fragrance, but behaves like an eau de parfum. And my notes on here, crisp, classy, white shirt, Italian man with twinkly eyes. So I'm picturing a gorgeous Italian gentleman, and maybe he looks a little bit like George Clooney, who obviously isn't Italian. But yeah, twinkly eyes and definitely a hint of mischievousness about him, but he's clean, he's fresh from the shower, he's got a freshly washed shirt on, and this is his cologne, and it's gorgeous. I love it. My next one is Vinnie de Tahiti from Paris, Monte Carlo. And this has a really a different vibe again from what we've spoken about already. This has champaca, ylang, vanilla, sandalwood, amber and musk. So again, we've got some similar notes to the first two fragrances I spoke about. But this one is much more rich, sumptuous, sweet, velvety. There's so many textures I get with this one. My notes say this leads with the base notes. Yes, I forgot I thought that. This leads with the base notes. You definitely get those sandalwood, ambery notes more so, and the vanilla more so than the florals. The florals are there. So you've got champaca, which I think is a lily-like scent. Champaca and ylang ylang. And a spiciness, so there's no spicy notes listed, and I think that spiciness could come from sandalwood, because sandalwood can be a bit spicy, so it's possibly that. But altogether it comes together in a very sumptuous manner. It's very sensual, very rich and cozy, yet takes you to the island. So even though it is rich and sweet, and you might think it's more of a cold weather fragrance, you absolutely could rock this in the cold weather, because it's rich and it's strong and it will last, and it will cut through the cold, but it does have that feel of exotic island about it, even though it's quite rich and sweet. Another gorgeous one. Next one is Ikirio, and this one is called Anwin. I have been wearing this one on repeat. I've worn it so much. I think I sent a small sample off to someone, but you can see that I have really dented this bottle, and I've only had it a couple of weeks. Absolutely loving this, and it is so not my usual style, because this is very fruity. So Anwin has I don't need to look at my notes. I know what's in here. It's only got a few notes. It's got passion fruit, passion flower, white chocolate, and ambergris. I think that's it. Now they're the only listed notes. To me it smells coconutty. Also to Lizzie at Rose and Jones, who I sent the sample to, she loves it too. She also gets coconut from it. Vincent the perfumer says there is no coconut material in here, but so that's coming from the combination of whatever is in here, I guess, that coconutty feel. To me, it's very fruity. It's more fruity. There's a hint of that white chocolate, and to me, as I say, a coconutty feel. So I've said it's a playful cocktails at sunset, warm skin, and suntan lotion. It's not a typical suntan lotion accord though. There is no suntan lotion note in here, but what I mean is the coconut. So when sometimes suntan oils smell like coconut, don't they? So imagine it's the end of the day, you haven't gone for your shower yet, you still got the remnants of your coconut oil on your skin, and you're having passion fruit cocktails, and maybe you just have a little square of white chocolate as well, just a little one, because it's not mega chocolatey to my nose anyway. It's much more the passion fruit smell. And the passion fruit smell to me, I've got some up here. I don't know really what passion fruit smells like, but the other day I had a guava drink because I was thinking about this perfume and how that fruit accord might be described. And to me it smelt like those tropical drinks that you can get in your local shop. They're not necessarily big brands, and they're usually fairly affordable, different sort of tropical drinks, so not lilt but more not niche, but you know what I mean. And I got a guava drink, and it definitely did make me think of the passion fruit note in this perfume. So I would say that the fruitiness is like a combination of different tropical fruits, including guava, and then, as I say, some coconut and some chocolate. And it dries down. In a far dry down, I get a sort of like a pure white musk, which is really lovely as well. And I didn't notice it for a long time. I only noticed it, I think it was this morning, when I smelt my wrist that had been on the night before, and I just smelt this beautiful clean white musk, and it was lovely. So that is Anwin, a real standout, fun, fruity, sunshiny perfume. And the last one is Soleilnage from Tom Ford. I'm getting through this. What have I had it? A couple of years? I think I've had it a couple of years. I can't really see, but I'd say I'm probably more than halfway done. Soleilnage has notes of bergamot, carrot seeds, orange blossom, jasmine, rose, benzoin, vanilla, and labdanum. Carrot seeds, if you don't know, are they give a musky smell. I used to think there was ambrette in here, but it must be the carrot seeds. This is a very musky perfume, the muskiest of them all the muskiest of them all. I think it smells, when you first spray it, I think it smells peachy, even though there's no peach note, or the combination of everything together. It smells a bit acidic and a bit peachy like. It's been on my skin now a little while. It's really starting to get more character. So I find it has a really gentle sweetness. Xerjoff Renaissance is the least sweet here because it's so crisp and citrusy. Apart from that, Soleilnage is the second to last sweetest perfume here. So the sweetness isn't that strong, but it's definitely there. You do have the vanilla and the benzoin bringing that sweetness, and labdanum can bring a little sticky sweetness as well. So to me, I get warm, clean skin and freshly washed clothes that have been dried outside in a garden that's thriving with flowers, and probably somewhere on the Italian coast, I think. I like that image. So, but it does make me think of I guess, laundry musk, I suppose, because of all that musk. but with this beautiful floral accord. But those citruses just mix with everything and they just turn it a little bit acidic. So it's not going to be for everyone because of that strange acidity. It doesn't stay acidic forever, but it definitely does start out that way. But I really love it. It does evoke cleanliness and yeah, freshly laundered clothes, but so much more than that, definitely much more than that. So they were all my summer perfumes. Are you still enjoying your summer perfumes, or are you insisting on moving on to the autumn ones? Let me know. I'm clinging on to summer with everything that I've got because it's my favourite season. And honestly, I haven't had the best summer this year. I'm going to be real with you now. That's it for perfume. If you're only here for perfume, feel free to click out. I'm going to get personal now. I haven't had the best summer, unfortunately. I have been sort of ill for 2 or 3 months now, I think. Yeah, about that. A mystery illness. Well, hopefully we are getting to the bottom of it. I emphasize bottom because it's an embarrassing illness. It's possibly going to be diagnosed as colitis. So if you are familiar with Crohn's disease and colitis, they both come under the bracket of IBD, which means inflammatory bowel disease. So basically both of those things, Crohn's and colitis, are not curable. You just have to live with them, manage them. There's medications and stuff. So I don't know if that's what I've got, but that's what I was told when I had my colonoscopy. It's probably going to be. And I have been suffering a little bit with various symptoms. I don't think I'm going to go into them right now because you didn't come here for this. So I'm not going to go into TMI. But basically, I have not been out as much as I would like to. I've been sort of confined to the house on occasions, or more than quite a few occasions. Or I've just not felt like doing anything because my stomach's blown up and I'm uncomfortable or I'm getting pain. And it's not a constant thing, but yeah, it's been, the last few days haven't been good. I thought I was sort of on the up. I was doing fairly, since my colonoscopy, I was given some medication and that seemed to be helping. It stopped the, we'll say it stopped the runs, okay? But God, the last few days I went out, my mum's in town, well, my mum's in the UK, and we had a family dinner in a restaurant on, must have been Sunday, but yes it was, okay, it was Sunday. So we had a family meal, and unfortunately within half an hour of eating I started getting stabbing pains in my stomach, which isn't something I'd really been suffering with before, so that was new. I've had pains here and there, but I seemed to be tolerating most foods quite well, and so it was a bit annoying to suddenly sort of, I got bloated and got these sharp stabbing pains, and so I went home, went for a lay down, fell asleep, woke up sort of 2 hours later, 3 hours later, and I still had these stabbing pains, so I just had to get ready for bed, go to bed. And then the next day, most of the pains are gone, and then I was still feeling gross in my stomach. Like, it feels like you're carrying heavy toxic waste in your stomach. Is the only way I can describe it. I've heard people describe it as carrying rocks in their stomach, and I think that's probably the same thing. But for me, it feels like there's something foreign in there that really shouldn't be in there. And it's naffle you can do about it. It's like, just have to wait. And yeah, it's really unpleasant. So unfortunately, then I had a day of feeling a bit squiffy, and then I started to feel better, and then I made the mistake, because I was really hungry and I hadn't eaten very much, I made the mistake of getting a burger and chips, and then I suffered again with stabbing pains and my stomach feeling like it's full of toxic waste. And fortunately today I woke up with it feeling a little bit iffy. I had some other symptoms, but now here we are in the afternoon, I'm feeling all right, but I haven't eaten anything that interesting. So I had some toast, and what else did I have? A smoothie, it's a meal replacement drink that they actually prescribe for people with Crohn's and colitis if they're not able to eat solid food. And I thought I'd get some, even though I'm not diagnosed yet, because anyone can have them. And I thought if I needed to skip eating real food, then at least it would give me some vitamins and minerals and stuff. So I thought I'd have one of those, and I actually did put a little bit of fruit in there as well, and I've been okay. I've not had any adverse effects. So now I just have to figure out what I might do for dinner. So yeah, my God, this is probably the most boring chat in the world ever. So I'm sorry about that. So I'm waiting for my diagnosis, basically, which will come hopefully by the end of this week, if not very early next week. Then I'll know for sure, and hopefully get some other medication that will actually work and start living my life a little bit better. But I do feel a bit sad that I've missed out a lot on summer because of what I've just said to you. I haven't been out as paddling boarding. I haven't been out paddling boarding as much, anywhere near as much as last year. I've probably only been out, I reckon I've been out about 6 times. It's not horrendous, but it's just a bit sad. But then the British weather, the British summer didn't start off very well. It took its time coming around, and it's been very changeable, like from hour to hour. 1 minute it can be bright sunshine, the next minute it's windy and rainy. So it's very difficult to actually know if you want to go out on your paddleboard, because it's been so changeable as well. So anyhow, I'm not going to waffle on any longer, because that's a very long video now. But thank you. If you're still here, I appreciate your tenacity and your support. Thank you so much. And thank you for watching. I will see you all very, very soon. Bye.